Next on Startup, we head to Nashville, Tennessee to talk with Will, a youth pastor and mentor who created Salemtown Board Company, a business that makes handcrafted skateboards while giving back to the community. Then we swing by Somerset Center, Michigan to talk to Steve, a tenacious visionary on a mission, and the owner of MECKLEY'S, an apple orchard that makes homemade hard cider. All of this and more is next on Startup.
It all starts with an idea, and everyone has them. In the world of business, where you choose to take your idea determines where your idea will take you. Baker College is proud to support Startup and those who dare to share their ideas with the world.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
The Chevrolet Volt, an everyday electric car with gas for longer trips. The nature of things to come. Chevrolet, find new roads.
American Express is proud to support Startup and the millions of small businesses that put in the hard work to be open for business in neighborhoods across the country.
My name is Gary Brado, and I'm a documentary filmmaker and an entrepreneur. The economy is in less than perfect shape, and when the jobs go away, there's nothing left to do but get up and get creative. And there are people all over America doing just that. It's estimated that up to 85% of new businesses fail. So I'm going coast to coast to hear the personal stories of the people who beat the odds and started a successful business from the ground up. This is Startup. I'm on Jackson Road in Somerset Center, Michigan, and I'm gonna go talk to Steve, the owner of MECKLEY'S, a second-generation family apple orchard that's branching out into the hard cider business. Let's go hear his story. The drink once favored by colonial Americans has been rediscovered nearly a century after Prohibition. Its rising popularity among U.S. consumers pushed cider sales to nearly $600 million last year. Steve grew up working on his family orchard, and from an early age, he learned every aspect of running this business. But once he took over the family farm, he was able to put his vision into action by creating this one-of-a-kind hard cider. Start by telling us who you are and where we are today.
My name's Steve MECKLEY. We are at our family farm, Flavor Fruit Farms, which is nestled here in the center of the lake country in southern Michigan. My dad came to Michigan from Iowa after World War II in 1953-54 and started to work for the current owner at the farm at the time. His name was Ed Lutz, as a hired hand. A fateful day in about 1955, he met my mother, who was on a senior field trip picking apples. From there, it became a true love. And in 1956, they purchased the farm and got married. And from there, we've just continued to evolve and grow. There are 6 of us children. My siblings tell me that I'm the only one crazy enough to stay on the farm and to try and keep this place going. I loved the crazy, what we call choreographed chaos of the fall.
Yeah.
And the fact that, we've got these just massive, crowds of people, 2,000–3,000 people a weekend.
Is your mom and dad still involved?
My father passed away in 2009. My mom is still here. Yeah, she's still very much involved.
But does she still have a stake in the business?
No, actually, I purchased the farm outright. Everything's on my shoulders. The buck stops here.
How did you make the purchase? Did you have to take out a mortgage or a bank loan, or was it cash?
No, it was a mortgage, traditional bank mortgage.
Did mom cut you a good deal?
No.
Did you have to beat her up on it a little bit?
No, that was my older brother's, not at all. In fact, I was given the same deal as anybody else would have been. It was what the appraisal came in at. They're hard, man. I mean, they weren't.
Well, you learn from the best, right? What did you do, to take it from where it was up to the next level. And was that sort of a conscious mentality that you had? I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna grow it. I'm gonna expand it.
It certainly was. During college, I had actually put together a business plan where we, had a bed and breakfast, a restaurant, and then the retail store. We're not quite there yet.
Aggressive.
But that was my dream, for this place, and I've never really lost sight of that.
What are all the things that you're producing out of here?
We of course do the bakery where we're doing all of our own fresh pies and donuts and breads and things like that. We do the fresh cider. We're doing the hard cider.
Hard cider. Where did the idea? When did it first hit you?
Hard cider is something that we always had. Dad had a barrel in the back of the cooler, and none of us kids understood why Dad would go visit the barrel and then he would mellow out. Just for sheer, test purposes, I started making cider when I was probably 14 or 15. And finally, I had a bunch of friends that told me, listen, Steve, you need to compete. You need to go up and, do the competition that's held every year here in Michigan. So I did. As a non-commercial producer, I went up and I competed, and we medaled with half the ciders that we took. And I said, wow, maybe there is something to this.
Yeah.
So I ponied up the money to take and have an actual attorney walk us through that process of getting our small winemaker's license. And we got approved, and we started production, or opened the tasting room rather, July 1st of 2011. Instantaneously, people were
gravitated
like, they were, wow, this is excellent, we want more. We couldn't keep up.
Between the 1600s and 1800s, the British estate owner who made the best cider attracted the best workforce because a significant part of a worker's wage was paid in cider. However, an 1887 law called the Truck Amendment Act made it illegal to compensate workers in this manner. Product. I see that
product.
AB, what does that stand for?
Well, those are actually property of Anheuser-Busch. These are pallets that are scheduled to go out with our local Anheuser-Busch distributor in southern Michigan, and they have been a big part of our being able to get it into 60 or 70 different stores in a short period of time. And
people approach large distributors all the time to get their product onto a shelf. Tell me the story. How did it happen?
We were at the Michigan International Speedway at the beer festival.
Okay.
Our booth was just jamming.
Okay.
And it got the attention of some of the distributors in the room.
They're like, who are these guys? What's going on?
What's happening over there?
Right.
And of course, the buzz was when people would pull somebody across, you got to go try that cherry bomb.
Oh, so they're pulling them away from the Bud booth over to you?
You got to go try the cherry bomb.
They don't like that.
No. So they're kind of like, all right, let's go over there and talk to these guys. They came and they actually approached us and said, we're interested if you're interested. And my comment back was, I'm interested, but I don't want to give it away.
There's always the potential for the integrity and the quality of the product to lose, to kind of start to go away with mass production. How are you going to control that?
Well, their first question to me, their only question to me was how can we maintain the quality and how can we maintain the quantity in terms of what are you capable of producing? And I said, well, if you guys are willing to work with me, I'll be willing to work with you and just help me grow gradually.
So you wanted to let sales dictate your growth?
Correct. And so they were on board with that and have remained on board with that. For us, it's all about it being product that we either grow or source locally and put into a can or a bottle, and I have every aspect of that under our control. Each one of these is approximately 250 to 300 gallons of finished hard cider. So these are our low-cost fermenters that have allowed us to save a significant amount of money.
Tell us what's happening here. Where are we standing and what's going on behind us?
We're in the cider room, and the guys from Michigan Mobile Canning are here. They've set up their equipment, and they are putting our hard cider into pint cans. And they can it right out of our tank, so it makes
well, that's
a nice
a game
deal.
changer. Have you done like a cost per unit with product? Have you been able to calculate that?
Yes. With the cider, depending on the cider itself, we're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1.50
Per can.
per can.
And what are you selling a 4-pack for?
4-packs here on premise are $17.
A good or bad season can really make or break your business right now.
Yeah.
You're relying on Mother Nature to get it
Relying on
going.
Mother- We're a farmer, you know, we are still a farmer, and it's a challenge, it really is.
Made from apples, water, and little else, most ciders are naturally gluten-free. The perfect drink for celiac sufferers or those on a gluten-free or paleo diet. Always check the label to be sure you're drinking pure cider.
We've been doing some print advertising in specialty magazines all over the state, and it's a lot of fun. And we've had some great feedback. You know, it's like, oh, we saw that your ad, and you know, we had a couple weeks ago that came out from Indiana, and they saw us in a magazine, and well, thank you for being, or we wouldn't have known about Cherry Bomb, and we wouldn't have known about, you know, the great place that you have here. So
awesome.
What are you doing today to make tomorrow better? You know, what are you doing within, you know, within your family? What are you doing within the community? What are you doing to pay something forward? You know, you do the things that you love with the people you love, and then the money that it's a natural progression. You know, it comes.
You're not profitable yet, I wouldn't assume.
No.
Okay, when do you foresee profit in the future?
I would say that beyond, you know, making a living and actually, you know, looking at it being a viable business, I would say within the next 3 to 5 years, we'll be in a position, a strong enough cash position, where we could do, you know, additional expansions, things that might take a significant amount of, you know, revenue.
What do you see for the next year with this?
We've gone over the last 3 years from, you know, 1,500 gallons of production to 6,000 gallons of production to roughly 16,000 gallons of production to next year. I won't be satisfied if we don't hit 25,000 gallons, and I can see us doubling it, you know, a year after that. I really am very excited and curious to see how the partnership with the Budweiser folks, what that'll do for us over the course of the winter months for cash flow. Because winter months on a seasonal business, it's tough.
What is the biggest hardship that you've had to face?
Just the time, the sacrifices of time.
Number one piece of advice for an entrepreneur out there:
follow your passion, because anybody that is passionate about something, if you really feel it in your gut, in your heart, that is what you want to do, you can make it work.
Well, thank you so much, Steve, for talking with us today. I really appreciate it.
Been great.
There are a million ways to start a business, but how did Steve do it? Let's find out. He started with around $10,000 in the bank and a credit score of 705. He spent around $10,000 total to open the cider business that he took from his savings. In his first year, they broke even with sales of $50,000. The one word that Steve said he would use to describe what it takes to make it in business is passion. In a family business, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And Steve really pressed to get to the core of diversification while planting a seed for future generations. For Steve, the writing was on the wall, and it read delicious. For more information, log on to our website and click the link for MECKLEY'S.
Failure to success is hand in hand. I think that you will fail way more than you will succeed, but what happens when you fail is the fact that you learn as you fail. So, you know, every entrepreneur goes through a certain stage. They go through a stage of act, learn, and repeat. And I actually ended up learning that stage when I was an entrepreneur in residence in Babson College, and the dean had wrote a really great book called Just Start.
Yeah, let's do another option for you. Okay. See, this might be a little bit more your color.
This one fits perfect. Oh, it feels good too.
Like it was made for you.
I feel very free. Well, so I know we're on opposite sides of the fence, but why do you always gotta balk about what you do, huh?
American Express is proud to support startup and the millions of small businesses that put in the hard work to be open for business in neighborhoods across the country.
The Chevrolet Volt, an everyday electric car with gas for longer trips. The nature of things to come. Chevrolet, find new roads.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
It all starts with an idea, and everyone has them. In the world of business, where you choose to take your idea determines where your idea will take you. Baker College is proud to support startup and those who dare to share their ideas with the world.